Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this afternoon. I'm Allison McKeithen, and I will be essentially your MC for today. And today we're going to talk about how to successfully apply for a scholarship for USCA. So joining me today on our webinar, I have my esteemed colleagues with me. We have Gabriella Spencer, Joanna Lopez, Shante Gray, and Chip Lewis. They'll be giving you all the information you need regarding the various scholarship opportunities for USCA this year, and they'll be with you shortly. And before we begin, I want to go over a few housekeeping notes. First, I want to let you know that we'll be accepting questions towards the end of the webinar. You'll find your opportunity to enter your questions during the webinar in the chat section off to your right. You should see a chat function. If you drop down the menu, you'll be able to type in your question. We'll be able to see it, and we'll answer it towards the end of the webinar. Also, at the conclusion of the webinar, we have our survey. So please take a moment to answer the questions so we can get your opinions and thoughts on how to do a better job. And lastly, we are recording this webinar, and it will be posted on the USCA website by the end of this week. So here's what we're going to cover today. First, we're going to start with the application, and then we'll go through the types of scholarships that are offered, which are the general option A and B, HIV 50 plus healthy and strong, strong and healthy, the social media fellowship, and VIVE Youth Initiative. We'll cover some timelines and deadlines, and then we'll open it up for questions. So just a little history. Last year, the 2018 USCA had 1,234 applicants. We had 36 people reviewing all those applications, and we awarded 425 applications. And this year, we're looking to offer a little bit over 200 scholarships this year. So, all great achievements require time, as the great Maya Angelou said. So please take the time to ensure that you read through the applications and submit one so that you too are awarded a scholarship this year. This year's USCA scholarship timeline is as follows. You'll notice that we have a number of deadlines that you should be aware of. Regarding our VIVE Youth Initiative, their deadline is March 30th. All other scholarship applications are May 17th. We'll send out decisions around or a little bit after May 31st. And then we'll be looking for anyone awarded a scholarship to respond to our scholarship acceptance letter by June 14th. So where do you go to apply? You can apply online at the That's www.2019usca.org/scholarships. When you log onto this page, you'll see that there's a description of each scholarship. You'll also see some special information linked there for the VIVE Youth Initiative and HIV 50 plus, and my colleagues will go through that information with you, but it's always a good idea to go back and look at it for yourself. And then you'll scroll down some more, and you'll see a large purple bar to apply for the scholarship. So on this page, you'll notice a description of each scholarship, and you'll also notice that we have a universal application. This application is where you apply for every scholarship opportunity that we have. When you click on that purple bar, you'll notice the next the next place is our entrance application area, where you want to enter in your email address. You want to use one that you check regularly, and click Submit. This will take you to the place where you enter your contact information. You'll notice that the application has places where there are red asterisks. Those are the fields that are required in order to move forward in the application process. It's important you complete this information so that we have a good way to contact you if one way doesn't work. So if we can't reach you via email, we'll try to reach out to your organization and give you a call. So please make sure you put in some really good information here. And as you scroll down, you'll also see the demographic questions. It's very important to fill out the demographic questions because a lot of the scholarship applications look towards that information to make sure that we do have a very diverse group of scholarship awardees. So even though it's not required, it is important and it's a good tip if you do put the information in there so they have something to evaluate you on and make sure that we're getting a diverse group of people. Next, you'll want to look down in the red circle, you'll see the scholarship type. These are all the scholarships that are applicable for this year that you can apply to for a scholarship. Now, you are only able to apply to one scholarship this year. So it's very important that the information you receive from my colleagues today you pay attention to and make sure you apply for the scholarship that is most applicable to you, to the program needs that you have, and make sure that you put in a strong application. And once you select the application that you want to apply for, click Save. And here's where you get to the application dashboard. You'll notice in the large red circle, you see category option A, USCA registration only. This is because I selected the option A scholarship opportunity. You'll also notice that there's a red asterisk beside scholarship applicant. This is to indicate that I had not completed all the information requested in that particular section. That is required in order to submit an application. The next part you'll see is the application questionnaire. This shows up regardless of which application you choose to apply for. Next, I'm going to throw it to my colleague, Shantae, so she can give you more information about the USCA scholarship.
Hi, my name is Shantae Gray. I'm the Event and Registration Coordinator here at MMAC, and welcome to the webinar today. I'll be going over the Option A and Option B scholarships that we have here. Option A is a complimentary registration, and we don't have, but it is a $615 value that we have, so it's a great choice. Also, we have Option B. Option B is one complimentary registration, 4 nights at USCA Hotel in Washington, D.C., and a $100 gift card that you will receive on site at registration. You will have to make sure that you go through the application questionnaire and answer all the questions. Review all questions prior to submitting. And a really good hint is write your responses in advance. You might want to just write it out, get someone to look at it before you submit. The general USCA scholarship questions. Did you get a scholarship in 2018? Are you or your agency members of MMAC? Also, the type of organization you're affiliated with. Your organization's budget, 2019-8 service budget. And we know that some people will not have a budget, which is okay, but make sure you answer it to your best of your knowledge. Describe the service describe the services your agency provides. What you plan to contribute, learn by attending this conference. And we have some tips for success. As you'll see, here is a question that we asked for the USCA scholarship last year. Here's the first. Describe what you plan to contribute or learn by attending the USCA. The first response was, I plan to use what I learned to better my community and teach the rest of my company what I've learned. Here's a better response. As an HIV coordinator leading our HIV prevention studies in Florida, I believe the USCA on AIDS will help me build up my advocacy and empower towards working with communities impacted by the HIV/AIDS epidemic. Considering the alarming figures that the HIV epidemic is showing in the southern states, it is crucial for me to learn more from different experiences from around the country to learn more about fighting the epidemic. I would also like to share how we manage to work and empower underrepresented populations. Every day we work hard to give a voice to the community as well as educating them about concepts like PrEP, U equal U, and new treatments. We want the community to learn more about the crucial role of research in ending the epidemic. So those types of responses are what our reviewers are looking for. So make sure you take time and do a well thought out response. The deadline for the USCA General Scholarship is May the 17th, 5 p.m. Pacific time. So now I would like to pass it over to Joanna, who will be talking about HIV 50 plus strong and healthy. Joanna, take it away.
Thank you, Shante. Like Shante said, my name is Joanna Lopez, and I'm an Associate Program Manager in the Treatment Division at NMAC, and I'll be going over the 50 plus UCSA application process. So what is the 50 plus Scholars Program? With the realization that more than 50% of those living with HIV are 50 and older, the Treatment Division created a 50 plus program dedicated to those who are 50 and above who are living with HIV. The program aims to promote awareness among service and healthcare providers about the issues people face living with HIV. This program is composed of 5 main activities: participation in the USCA conference, educational webinars, mini grants, internships, and sponsorships. So applicants are introduced to the program at USCA and meet other scholars and participate in the 50 plus programming. Throughout the year, they will complete educational webinars, mini grants, internships, and or sponsorships. So basically anyone who is 50 and over can apply, and if they are living with HIV or healthcare professionals who work with those who are 50 and older living with HIV/AIDS. Candidates must be affiliated with community-based organizations, healthcare providers, health departments, or support groups that work directly with people living and aging with HIV. Geographic diversity is important, and our program has a special focus on the South and urban regions where HIV disproportionately impacts communities of color and those living and aging with HIV. We do encourage past HIV 50 plus scholars to apply again as well. Scholarship applications are open only to U.S. residents and its territories. The scholarship covers 1 2019 USCA registration, 4 nights at the conference hotel, a coach round-trip ticket flight to Washington, D.C., and per diem. There is only 1 scholarship per agency. If selected for an HIV 50 plus scholarship, you are required to attend all conference special 50 plus programming as well as any special activities designed for the 50 plus scholars and people living and aging with HIV. Scholars are also expected to stay engaged with their HIV 50 plus strong and healthy program throughout the next year and participate in the various activities like the mini grants, internships, and sponsorships. We have planned for the program as much as possible. So now I'll walk you through on how to apply for an HIV 50 plus scholarship. After you complete the general demographic part of the application, you will return to the application dashboard to complete the application-specific questions. This application will ask you a series of questions, including whether you received a scholarship to attend USCA last year, the type of organization you work for, and their mission statement. These are the remaining questions on the application. How long have you been working in or advocating in the HIV field? Does your organization currently have HIV and aging programming? Are you willing to commit to post-USCA programming? And how you plan to contribute to USCA and after USCA. Lastly, you can include any other comments or a reference for your application. Then make sure to click Save. Then it will direct you back to the dashboard of your application. So you are done and you do not need to click submit. Your application will be completed once you return to this page. Applicants who apply to the HIV 50+ scholarship are reviewed by a committee that is tasked with scoring the submitted applications based on HIV status or service healthcare providers working with this population, age, gender, geographic location, race or ethnicity, and sexual orientation. So again, the deadline to apply for an HIV 50+ scholarship is Friday, May 17th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chip Lewis. I'm the Communications Director here at NMAC, and I'll give you a real brief overview of the Social Media Fellowship Program. Now in its 4th year, the program recruits about 18 fellows each year, a mix of experienced and inexperienced social media users, to learn more about how they can use their social media platforms not only to talk about what's going on at USCA and what they learn at USCA, but to continue the fight against the HIV epidemic in their communities after the conference is over. So this year, we are changing the criteria a little bit. We are going to prioritize applicants who have large social media followings, who might be considered influencers. Probably about 2/3 of this year's fellows will be applicants with a large social media following. The other 1/3 can be more inexperienced or new to the field. The idea of merging experience with inexperienced folks is so that they can learn from each other and each learn how to perform better. Background in HIV is not required. In fact, this year we may actually be prioritizing people who do not have a background in HIV, just so they can learn more and can reach networks and audiences who may not be getting the HIV message currently. Again, if you follow the application process online, it's a fairly straightforward application. We will be reviewing them and make a decision in May. Social Media Fellowship covers 1 registration for the conference, 4 nights of lodging at USCA, and if needed, 1 coach round flight to Washington. And the deadline again is May 17th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Thank you, Chip. Hello, everyone. My name is Gabriella Spencer, and I'm the Program Associate here at NMAC under the Leadership Pipeline and Conferences Division. And today, I will walk you through some basic information on the Bees Youth Initiative. The 2019 Youth Initiative is a 9-month program that starts in May 2019 and ends in January 2020. It will provide young people with the skills and tools to become young leaders in the HIV community, specifically communities of color. To become a scholar, you must be between the ages of 18 to 25 by September 5th, 2019. So if you turn 26 before September 5th, you are no longer eligible to apply for the Youth Initiative. You also must submit a completed application. 10 days after getting accepted, you'll have to submit a 250-word bio and a headshot, which will be published on our website. And lastly, you'll be required to complete an assessment within 10 days of your acceptance via SurveyMonkey. Each scholar will be required to conduct a needs assessment between May 15th and August 1st. We will teach you how to do this prior to completing the assessment. As an outcome of the needs assessment, the scholar will have to develop a World AIDS Day social action project based on their results between September 15th and December 15th. You will also have to identify at least 1 community partner to work with on your World AIDS Day social action project. You'll be required to participate in monthly mandatory webinars, which will occur between May and June. Lastly, you will also be required to travel to an in-person training during USCA conference September 5th through the 8th. This is not the end of the Youth Initiative. Where to apply? You can apply at www.2019usca.org/scholarships. And the link to apply is all the way at the bottom. But however, if you scroll until you see Bees Youth Initiative, you'll see a purple bar that says Overview, and we highly recommend that you read the overview before applying. Returning youth who were first-time participants in 2018 cohort who successfully completed the program are encouraged to reapply. What the VIVE Youth Initiative offers in reference to the USCA. 2019 USCA registration, 4 nights at the Conference Hotel in a standard shared room, a coach round-trip ticket to DC. Lastly, the deadline is March 30th. This date is different from the other scholarship dates, so be mindful of this. March 31st is approximately 2 weeks away, and it will not be extended, so the deadline again is March 30th, sorry.
Thank you, Gabby. So just to go over the timeline again, the VIVE Youth Initiative ends and closes their application on March 30th. So if you're interested in the VIVE Youth Initiative, March 30th is your deadline. For all other scholarship applications, that's if you're applying for the option A or the option B, if you're applying for the social media fellowship or the HIV 50+ program, you have until May 17th to apply for those scholarships. And please use that time to write out your responses. We will send out notifications on or after May 31st, and all scholarship awardees will have until June 14th to respond. So just to go over again, you've seen the screen a couple of times, but we're going to make sure that it soaks in. You can apply on our website, on our 2019 USCA.org website. You can click on the scholarships header, and it'll take you to the scholarship page. Again, you'll see the description of all the various scholarships. You'll see the special information regarding the VIVE Youth Scholarships and the HIV 50+ scholarships, and that is also where you'll find the link to apply for the scholarships. After this webinar, by the end of the week, you'll also see this webinar posted there as well. So you may have heard a few tips along the way while all my colleagues were giving their presentations, and we just want to make sure that you use these tips because it is really important. All the scholarship reviewers will be reading your applications to make sure that they offer scholarships to people who it's going to be useful for, who need those scholarships, and people who will also give back. So you want to make sure that you take the time to write those responses. So first, we offer you the tip of giving well-written responses. Take the time to write your response. Allow someone to read your response before you submit it and answer all the questions. One good thing about this year's scholarship application is that you can create your account to apply for your scholarship. Once you're in there, you can go back, you can read the questions, you can submit, and you have until May 17th if you're applying for general scholarships. You have until May 17th to edit whatever you put in the system. So if you need to add additional information, if you do end up finding out that what your organization's budget is, you want to go back and make sure you submit the most complete application possible. And again, answer all of the questions. This is very important, especially for the demographic information. Please supply your demographics. We want to know who you are. We want to know who you represent. So please make sure you enter that information as well. The next tip is to give an on-time submission. Can't say this enough. VIVE Youth Initiative ends on March 30th. If you submit after that date, your scholarship application will not be considered. The scholarship applications will close. That's similar to the general scholarship, social media, and HIV 50+ applications on May 17th. Please take your time to completely submit your application. And I do say submit because you can go in and enter information and it won't be completely submitted. So please make sure your information has been submitted in the system. Lastly, we want you to be yourself. We're scoring and reviewing these applications based on you and who you are. So we want to know who you are. Please take the time, again, to write your well-written response and be yourself. You don't need to copy anybody else's response, or you don't need to put in a panned or canned response. We really want to know who you are. And I wanted to make sure you all know that because you can apply for all those various scholarships, we're asking for you to select the one that meets your needs. Please don't apply for multiple scholarships. You won't be able to do that in the system. But if you do happen to make a mistake, say if you wanted to apply for the Youth Initiative Scholarship, but you selected HIV 50+, you can go back into your profile and you can select the correct application. In this instance, all your prior information you entered will be deleted out of your account, and you'll have to re-enter the information for that particular scholarship. Each scholarship application has different questions because they have different requirements and are scored differently. So the answers, even though some of the questions are the same, the applications ultimately are all different. So please make sure you look at the correct application and pre-write your responses for that application. So now I want to open the floor up for some questions. We're here to answer your questions about your application, the scholarship process, and USCA. We want to see all your applications come through. We're looking forward to reviewing them. So if you have questions, please take a moment. You can enter them in the chat section to the right of your screen, and we're happy to respond.
And we already have some. How many scholarships are being offered in 2019?
In total, we're offering a little bit over 200 scholarships, and that's across all of the scholarships.
It's a question, maybe a question from a previous year or this year. What if you did this but never received a confirmation?
If you applied for a scholarship and you didn't receive a response?
I think that's what they're asking, if you never received a confirmation.
You can email me at sgray@nmac.org, and I'll be able to look up your information.
Do you have to be a member of NMAC in order to apply?
No.
Will the webinar be available after today? Yes.
Yes.
It will be on the USCA site by the end of the week. I've applied for the past 5 years and did not receive a scholarship. Can we receive feedback on why we weren't selected? Can we obtain review notes to strengthen our chances next time?
Hi, I don't really have the reasons why your scholarship application may not have been accepted, especially over a period of 5 years. One thing I will recommend is that you take some of these tips, make sure that you are writing a complete and full application, make sure your responses are relevant, make sure that you complete the demographic information, and all we can do is say, hopefully the reviewers will see that and see how earnestly you want to be at USCA and how you'll be an asset to the community for coming.
Do you have to have HIV in order to qualify for a full scholarship?
Absolutely not.
Can two separate staff apply for a 50+ and an option B?
You are able to, as different staff members, you are able to apply for the different scholarships. In the 50+ scholarship, they only award one awardee per organization. So I would definitely consider one person applying for that. And if you have an option B person who wants to apply for option B, have them apply for option B.
Will the slides be available after today? Yes.
Yes.
On the USCA scholarship page. They will be there by the end of the week. Can we apply for more than one scholarship?
No, you can only apply for one scholarship.
The HIV 50+ scholarship description on the website underlines who works, and many of the questions on the application are geared to working in an organization. How do you respond if you're a consumer who doesn't work and is on SSDI?
And what's the last part of the question?
They're applying for 50+. How do you respond on the application if you don't work and you're on SSDI, Social Security disability?
I think there's an option to click other. I'm not sure, to have to review it. But you can email me at jlopez@nmac.org. Not being affiliated with an organization does not disqualify you. We still consider you, but just make sure to mention that in your application.
How soon after the webinar can one submit?
Right now.
In the case of the Youth Initiative, we have an earlier deadline. Are we also able to know earlier whether we received the scholarship in order to have ample time to apply for a general scholarship?
You will. They are sending out their notifications in mid-April.
On the option B slide, presenters say that you'll receive $100. Is that a per diem or is that towards travel?
It is a gift card, a one-time gift card given when you pick it up at registration, and we ask that you use it towards travel, but it's really a gift card. You can use it towards anything, but that's all we offer towards travel.
What if I don't know my organization's budget?
That's fine. You don't have to know your organization budget. It wouldn't hurt your application.
Okay. How many 50-plus scholarships are being granted?
50.
What are the amenities for those who receive the Option B scholarship?
The amenities?
Yeah, I think it's just what the scholarship gives.
So it's a complimentary registration, 4 nights at the hotel in Washington, D.C., and $100 per diem that they can pick up on site at registration. Gift card. I'm sorry, $100 gift card that you can pick up on site at registration.
And I do want to add that we actually enhanced our scholarships this year because previous years we only offered 2 nights at the conference hotel, and we realized and got some feedback from a few of our scholarship awardees in past years that it just wasn't enough to really help them in their situation. So we've been able to find additional funds to provide more nights at the hotel so that people are able to stay for the entire conference. So hopefully you guys will all see that as a benefit and an additional reason to apply for the scholarship this year.
Can an organization apply for more than one category scholarship?
Yes.
How do you know if your organization is a part of NMAC?
We can look it up for you.
Mm-hmm. Last year for the 50-plus scholarships, there were lots of questions on transparency. Who comprises the review committee? Are they NMAC staff or is there an outside review committee? Additionally, does the reviewer recuse themselves if they know the person applying?
So we try to keep our reviewers as anonymous as possible, but they are composed of 2 NMAC staff, 2 community advisory board members, and 2 previous 50-plus scholarships who have been a part of the program for 2 or more years.
Do the youth have to be people living with HIV?
No, it does not have to be people living with HIV.
I've submitted my application, but I'm unable to submit. However, it is saved.
Okay, great. Why don't you email us at conferences@nmac.org and let us know, and we'll be able to check and make sure that we have it in the submitted category.
What if I'm not a member of an organization? Can you still apply?
Absolutely.
Can more than one person receive a scholarship per organization? I think we answered that yeah, if the program they apply under is different.
Yeah, if the program is different, yes, you can get more than one scholarship, but under the same scholarship program, we only offer 1 per organization.
Can you say more about expectations for 50-plus, i.e. internship, et cetera?
Yeah, of course. So the 5 activities of the program is participation in the USCA conference, and then after that you are required to attend 6 educational webinars that are held from December through May of the program year. So these webinars are focused on a range of topics like sexual health and HIV and aging, how to manage chronic conditions and aging-related challenges. But if you're unable to attend those webinars, we do record them and post them on the NMAC YouTube page. So the mini grants, scholars are encouraged to apply for the mini grants or internships after USCA. The mini grants and internships are similar, whereas scholars receive funds to implement a program in their community. They must have an organization to back them up fiscally. And then again, the mini grants are usually awarded to first-time applicants, and internships are usually for people who have been a part of the program for 2 or more years. And then the sponsorships, sponsors are encouraged to apply for sponsorships to attend 1 conference a year. This is outside of USCA. Registration, hotel, and flight are covered through the sponsorship, and scholars are required to submit a written report.
Okay. Are hotel rooms shared?
Only for the youth initiative, you'll have a shared room.
Are we still eligible to apply for a scholarship if we're not currently affiliated with an organization dealing with HIV/AIDS within our community? For example, if you're previously affiliated with such an organization.
Yes, you are.
What if you don't know your category, what category your organization falls into?
You can click other, or you can answer to the best of your ability. Hopefully you know what your organization does.
Do you have to be part of an organization to apply? And
again, no, you don't.
I think I overheard what the 50-plus scholarship cover. Can you explain a little, please?
In terms of registration and flight events.
I can see, yeah.
Yeah, so the 50-plus scholarship covers 1 USCA registration, 4 nights at the conference hotel, 1 coach round ticket flight to DC, and a per diem.
Is the program only for U.S. citizens?
The 50-plus?
I think it's just in general. They're asking overall. Is it only for U.S. citizens?
Typically, yes. I'll say in general, they have been awarded to U.S. citizens, and the primary reason is because what we offer is usually not enough assistance for people who are traveling internationally. However, we do review international applicants all the time.
Is it only 1 scholarship per organization or 1 scholarship per category per organization?
1 scholarship per category per organization.
Why is there a big drop in scholarships being offered?
Well, last year we were given a lot of additional funds from a lot of different sources, so we were able to offer additional scholarships last year. So that was really a blessing. It wasn't something that started off that high. It was something that actually came along later. We were actually able to offer additional scholarships as we got closer to the conference, and we decided to go back to our scholarship process and offer additional scholarships. So. And it started off that way. We got lucky.
Can you re-explain what the 50-plus scholarship is?
Sure. So the 50-plus scholarship, you apply to this program, and it starts off at the USCA. So if you are selected to be a part of the program, you'll participate in the 50-plus programming at USCA. And from there, we hold 6 educational webinars throughout the year from December to May of the program year. And the webinars cover topics like sexual health and HIV aging and other aging-related challenges. We also have mini grants, internships, and sponsorships that we encourage our 50-plus scholars to participate in throughout the year. Mini grants and internships you apply for, and you get awarded a certain amount of funds to implement a program in your community using your organization's existing financial structure. And then we have sponsorships, which is similar to a scholarship in that you get to attend a conference later in the year, but outside of USCA, and registration, hotel, and flight are covered under that.
Thank you, Joanna. And we are posting this webinar on the scholarships page. So if you didn't catch something or didn't get it the first go-round, you can definitely go back and rewind and listen to the webinar online. And you can listen to Joanna go over that information again.
Yeah.
But there is additional information about the program, the 50-plus program on the website. You'll see that there's a link to another document that has additional programmatic requirements and information for those people who are applying for that scholarship. So I encourage you to go there and read that information as well before you submit your application.
Our applications that are submitted earlier looked upon more favorably versus one submitted closer to the deadline.
They are not. Everyone is weighted equally as long as you get it in by the deadline.
How can your organization become part of NMAC?
Oh, well, all you have to do is contact us at info@nmac.org, and we happily send you information about becoming a member. It's also a membership link on our website, which is www.nmac.org, and you can become a member.
What are the topics for 50 plus?
The top. What do you mean, the top?
I'll ask, I think. All right, while they're replying. PWN USA Texas is a regional chapter of PWN USA. Would it be only one person from the regional chapter awarded a scholarship?
That's difficult to say. I mean, if you're affiliated through PWN, that's one organization, so it'll be considered one organization applying. So anyone else from PWN and under PWN would be considered, if they're awarded, they would be considered that awardee for PWN for that particular scholarship. I hope that answers your question. If not, you can email me at amckeithen@nmac.org. That is amckeithen@nmac.org.
Does the reviewer have to recuse themselves if they know the person applying for a scholarship?
We ask that they do. We don't want anybody to unfairly score someone.
Let's see. Would it be helpful to send links to online sources such as support groups started as a result of one's work and published articles which recognize one's contributions to their work?
I say if you feel it's going to contribute to your application overall, absolutely submit that information in the appropriate section of that application.
If I was awarded a scholarship back in 2016, tried in 2018, was denied, will I have a chance this year to receive a scholarship?
You absolutely will.
Yeah.
As USCA took place in Orlando in 2018, our agency received a limited number of scholarships for registration only. How would the scholarship awards affect any potential scholarships for 2019 USCA?
They won't. It's a whole new year.
Can you explain option B again? Does it cover transportation to DC? I live in Philadelphia. If I'm awarded, I'll be taking Amtrak. So will I have to pay to get down to DC?
Yes, you will have to pay to get to DC. Option B does not cover any travel.
Will you ever cover the issues on HIV, young and old, on housing? I think that's more of a programming question for.
That sounds like a program question for USCA, and we're currently in our abstract process. So we don't know what the topics are going to be, but if you have information about that topic that you'd like to submit, our abstract submission process is currently open, and you are welcome to write an abstract to present at USCA. So go to the USCA website and submit.
Or if you know someone who may.
Or know someone who might, yeah.
That's the end of the questions so far.
Great. That was a great round of questions. Thank you, everybody. As we mentioned earlier, all this information will be posted on the 2019 USCA.org website, so you can go back and listen to the webinar again. And we want to thank you all for being here and participating. If you do have any questions that you weren't able to think of while the webinar is going on live, please email us at conferences@nmac.org. That's conferences with an S @nmac.org. We'll be happy to respond at a later date. But if there are no further questions, thank you all so much. We are going to have a survey at the conclusion of this webinar. Please take the time to respond to that. We'd love to see what your opinions are and see how we can improve our process and our webinars. So please stay tuned and do that. And thank you again, everyone, so much for being here today. Have a great afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.